Hey, I'm Dr. SCL. I'm a dad, a chiropractor, and the translator you didn't know you needed in this, the first year of parenting. This is Decoded, the first year, the podcast that turns baby brain confusion, mum burnout, and milestone panic into clarity you can actually use. Let's make sense of the chaos by decoding it together. There's a moment that catches almost every parent off guard. Your baby isn't quite crawling yet, but they're not quite still either. They're rocking, shifting, almost like they're trying to figure something out. And you start wondering, should they be crawling by now? Or are they skipping something? I want you to know you're not missing anything, because what looks like they're not quite there yet is often one of the most important neurological bridges in your baby's entire first year. And today, we're unpacking exactly what that bridge is and why it matters more than the milestone itself. Last week, we explored the STNR, the fencer's reflex, and how it lays the groundwork for midline awareness, hand-eye coordination, and contralateral movement. In other words, opposite sides of the body. This week, we're diving into the STNR, the symmetrical tonic neck reflex, sometimes called the crawling reflex. Now, the STNR emerges around 6 to 9 months and is all about coordination between head and body. When the baby looks up, their arms straighten and legs bend. When the baby tucks their chin down, their arms bend and their legs straighten. Now, it might seem subtle, but this reflex is the bridge between floor mobility and the upright posture. So here's what the STNR actually does for your baby. Number one, it helps to prepare them for crawling. The diagonal patterns established by the STNR, in other words, opposite sides of the body, have started and are now coordinated into a hands and knees movement. In other words, we're combining reflexes to coordinate left and right, top and bottom. Secondly, it supports the sitting stability. Sitting is the first vertical movement that our children make, and it helps the baby shift weight forwards without tipping. Thirdly, it helps build trunk control. The flexion and extension of arms and legs teaches the nervous system how to balance against gravity. This is why our posture, forwards and back, is so important when we're thinking about our overall spinal posture, even as an adult. And it fundamentally serves as a foreshadowing mechanism for walking, the ultimate of vertical postures. This reflex teaches a weight transfer and coordination between the upper and lower body. So when the STNR is well integrated, you'll see a smooth transition from tummy to hands and knees, the ability to rock forwards and back without collapsing, and efficient crawling that leads to confident standing and ultimately walking. However, when the STNR is retained for too long, you might notice bunny hopping instead of a hands and knees crawling, a difficulty sitting upright without support, early fatigue or awkwardness in the crawling mechanism, the pulling to stand, or eventually walking. However, the STNR doesn't just stop there. It also interacts with sleep, feeding, and play. Babies may struggle to maintain their head position while laying on their tummy, and there's your effective tummy time. The coordination needed for bringing their hands to their mouth can feel tricky, and that'll cause complications when it comes to feeding. And the play patterns such as reaching, pivoting, and rocking all help to integrate this reflex naturally. So here's the big takeaway for parents. The STNR is not a milestone to check off. It is a foundational element to practice. Support your baby with tummy time, gentle guided rocking, and plenty of floor exploration. please don't rush them to be vertical. Let this reflex mature on its own terms in its own time. Next week, we're going to wrap up a lot of this primitive reflex talk and begin applying these foundations specifically to crawling. And we will see how the STNR, the ATNR, and the TLR all come together in action. So when you as a mum are watching your baby rocking, shifting, or moving in ways that don't quite look like crawling yet, you're not looking at any form of delay. You are watching coordination being built in real time. And this makes sense when we look through a nervous system lens, because before your baby moves forward in space, they first need to organize how their upper and lower bodies work together. That's what the STNR is doing. Quietly, consistently building the bridge. What this means for you as a mum is less pressure to rush milestones and more confidence in creating the right environment for them to emerge in their own time. This is why I have battered on for so long about floor time matters. The freedom to move without restriction matters. And those in-between movements, they matter more than most people realize. If you're starting to notice some of these patterns in your baby, or you're wondering how all of these reflexes fit together, I've put together something to help you see the bigger picture. You can grab a copy of my baby milestone decoder. Simply DM me through Instagram the word decoder. This will walk you through exactly what's happening underneath each stage of development, so you're not left guessing what's normal and what needs support. Next week, as I said, we bring all of this together, looking at how multiple reflexes combine to create efficient, coordinated crawling. Mum, you're crushing it. Remember that. Dr. SCL, out. Thanks for listening to Decoded, the first year, where we translate the mess of early parenting into something that actually makes sense. Be sure to share this episode with a friend, a partner, or a mum that you know who is quietly struggling through the noise and secretly Googling every milestone. If you want to hear more decoding, follow @Mount Hawthorne Chiropractic on the socials. Let's keep decoding the chaos. No mansplaining, no pressure, no judgment, just clarity when you need it most. Please note, this podcast isn't medical advice. It's just smart strategies from a Gonstead chiropractor, a dad, and someone who's been in the room with hundreds of mums trying to make sense of their baby's development, their own postpartum recovery, and the constant noise that comes with modern parenting. Always chat with your health team for specific care.